guys, happy Monday. It's a miracle. It's Monday. Hair and makeup done on a Monday. It must be for Unique. Okay, well, I'm going to get started. I am Carly Hoffmeyer, exclusive Purple Status presenter with the Glam Guild. Whoop whoop. Under Shining Light Beauties, and I am so honored to be here. Thank you, Sean, for the invitation. And today I want to talk about one of my favorite topics. I, thank goodness, was fortunate enough when I was younger. My uncle has a franchise of Dale Carnegie, so I was able to attend, before I even knew that I needed it, how to influence friends and how to win friends and influence people. And I'll apologize now, I can't see the comments, so I will respond later once I'm finished. But thank you guys for popping in. Please give hearts, please give comments, and any questions, and I'll be sure and get back to you. But I just want to stay on task so that we can get through all this information, okay? So thank you for tuning in. Hi guys, and let's get started, okay? So for any of you that haven't heard of him, Dale Carnegie is a genius. This book has been popular for years and years and years. Like, we're talking, I don't even know what year this was produced. I can look. 1937 was the first year that this was published, and it is still valid. Still excellent input for us, especially in the sales industry, but for any industry for that matter. It's basically teaching you how to teach people, how to treat people, and to have influence over others versus being that salesy, spammy, grossness. Okay, so let's get into the meat of it. And so much of this you'll find is just common sense. I mean, it's common sense. Hello, it's basically, think about how you would want to be treated, the things that you have responded to in the past as far as making you take that action to purchase or to jump on board, you know, be it with Unique or whoever it might be, or to be willing to be a hostess for one of your friends for their parties. So it's very common sense, and you know, it's sometimes we just need these reminders that this is how we really need to treat people if we really want to see the success in business and take our businesses to that next level. Okay, so I'm going to just start out. This book has a plethora of topics and information that I could have shared with you, but we are focusing again just on the influence part. Okay, so there are other areas, and I highly recommend you guys get this book because it does talk about, you know, how to be a leader and how to not worry and to just kind of be stress-free in your life. So it's really a worthwhile book to invest in for personal development for you and your team. It could be something that you regurgitate for them later on. Okay? All right. So obviously, if you're going to do business with someone, or if you're going to influence someone, would you want to be around someone that's grumpy? Okay? No, obviously not. So the biggest key and kind of the whole sort of umbrella of this whole topic is to become and to be a friendlier person to those around you. Okay? So the very first, right out of the gate, his first item is to not criticize, condemn, or complain. And just so you guys know, so that you can follow along, I'm going to have about there'll be 9 different points in this, okay? So we'll stay on track, but don't criticize, condemn, or complain. So what does that, you know, those 3 words, what does that encompass? Mindset, your mindset, and the way that you're approaching life. Are you looking at things positively, or do you tend to go glass half empty? We want to be half full, not empty, okay? Because people are drawn to positivity, draws positive people. If you are negative Norm and you're Eeyore and you're just like, oh, thanks for noticing me, you know, people aren't going to want to have that in their life, and they're certainly not going to want to partner with you in this journey if they feel like every day or more frequently that they would need to interact with you as, you know, their sponsor or their host guider, if you're like that. So think about what sort of a mindset and what sort of a vibe you're putting out there. Are you one to quickly condemn, quickly criticize, or complain about something? Or instead, are you one to find solutions and to be positive and to think, okay, yeah, this situation might suck, but how can I turn this for the positive? How can I make this something that could either be a learning lesson? What am I supposed to learn from this? Or a teaching lesson that, yeah, I went through that and it was pretty sucky, but I survived, and this is what I learned from it. Take those experiences, because we all have times of gunk in our life. I mean, hello, it's gonna happen. But instead of automatically going towards that negative, try to put a spin on it so that you find the positive, okay? The positivity draws positivity, and that whole vibe that you put out is the tribe that you will attract. And that's huge, and it's so huge. You don't want dramatic, negative people on your team or even as a customer, because then they're gonna be a pain in the you-know-what, right? Nothing will be good enough. They'll be complaining about the shipping. They'll be complaining about the product. They'll be complaining about this, complaining about that, right? Okay. So number 2 is to give honest and sincere appreciation for those in your life. And specifically for your customers, your team, your hostesses. You worked hard to get those on board. You want to make sure that they feel appreciated, that they feel loved. And there was a study in the book that it says there are 8 things most people want out of life. There is health and preservation of life, food, sleep, money and the things that money can buy, life in the hereafter, to know, heaven, whatever, sexual gratification. Okay, yeah, no, we're not going to help people with that, right? The well-being of our children, and the last one is a feeling of importance, right? This is what most people want out of life, a feeling of importance. So those top ones, yeah, they can probably take care of that themselves. They can buy food, they can do whatever, their husbands or partners or whatever can do whatever they need to do. But a feeling of importance is the one thing that they are dependent on other people in order to receive that or to feel that. So if we can fill that cup for them, we are filling that want and that need in their life. So it's our job to do it. Get out there. Make them feel important, make them feel appreciated, and to know that you truly treasure having them in your life or on your team or as a hostess, whatever that might be, okay? There was a quote in the book that was great. The rare individual who honestly satisfies that heart hunger of feeling important for someone will hold those people in the palm of their hand. All right, ladies, it's time for us to have them in the palm of our hands. Eating out of the palm of our hands, blowing it up. We're promoting up and up and up just by simply making people feel appreciated. How awesome is that? And it was so interesting that honest, sincere appreciation is the one thing, I mean, there are numerous things that differentiate us from animals, but it was so cool to think that that is something that truly differentiates us from animals. 4-H animals don't care if they get that blue ribbon. Is it blue? That's the top one. They don't care, but their owners truly do. All right, so number 3, arouse in the other person an eager want. A want. Action springs out of what we fundamentally desire. So we have to arise in them that eager want, that they really want this. Charles Schwab was quoted in this book because, of course, we all know when Charles Schwab talks, we listen, or something. Is that the saying? I don't know. But he had huge success, and Dale Carnegie consulted with him a lot. And what he had said is, I consider my ability to arouse enthusiasm among my people the greatest asset I possess. And the way that I best do that in a person is to appreciate and encourage them. Okay, so by appreciating and encouraging them, that makes them want to do the actions for him and to want to, abide by whatever rules and regulations might be. But for our industry, it would make them want to purchase products, want to be a hostess, want to join into this awesome journey, right? And it's such an easy thing. Be hearty in your approval and admiration, and lavish in your praise, and the people will cherish your words and treasure them and repeat them over for a lifetime, repeating them years after you've forgotten what's been said. Think about that. Do you have a compliment or some word of encouragement or something that was said over you, even as young, that you still hang on to and that it still repeats over and over, and it kind of just gives you that little pep in a step, makes you want to continue doing whatever it might be that you're doing because of that person's encouragement? I know that so often coaches and mentors and things like that hold that kind of role that people remember, oh yeah, because they said this, I know that I can do this. And our mission, uplift, empower, and validate. That's our job, ladies, is to encourage those around us, to uplift them and to let them know that they are worthy and that they could do this. Then they would want to take that action and it wouldn't feel like we're dragging them along. Okay? Before you message, call, or text one of your potentials, pause and ask, how can I make this person want to do it? That they want to do it, that I'm not forcing them into it or making them feel guilty. Thousands of salespeople are discouraged and just, have been busting their booties and are out there and just aren't having success because they are only thinking of what they want. Neither you or I want to buy anything, or we would go out and do it, right? But we are eternally interested in solving our problems. If we can show them how our services, our merchandise, our products actually solves a problem, then it takes that whole selling out of it. We're not selling, they'll be buying. And when they feel like they're buying and not being sold to, that's when you'll have huge success. And that's when the sales just keep coming and it's not such a chore and it doesn't feel like work, because it's just that common interaction that you've got this problem, I've got the solution, A plus B equals C, win, woohoo, yay, awesome, right? Okay, number 4, become genuinely interested in other people. People in general, just as who we are as humans, we're interested in what we want. So the only way on earth to influence others is to talk about what they want and then show them how to get it. A great example was that if you have a kid who, do you guys have kids? Raise your hand, give hearts if you got kiddos. If your child suddenly has started smoking cigarettes, it would have to be older, hopefully, right? But if they're smoking cigarettes, do you think nagging at them, yelling at them, punishing them, like, wah, wah, stop smoking, don't smoke, don't buy cigarettes, is that going to work? Or if you show them the actual effects that cigarettes have on their body and say, okay, well, you wanted to try out for the basketball team, you can't be a smoker on the team. Basketball players can't smoke cigarettes. And oh, P.S., you wanted to PR at the next track and field, event, but do you really think smokers' lungs are going to be able to do that? So by switching your approach and how you tackle it and kind of solving that problem and putting it in their mindset and what their need or want is, it just completely switches that switch. So it's not us like nagging at them or salesy, spammy, but you're solving that problem and then also appealing to what their needs are and what their wants are in life and what they'd like to accomplish. So who doesn't want to feel more beautiful? Who doesn't want to look younger? Who doesn't want to, it's those sort of things that we can appeal to in our life. All right. And there was a great quote. It is the individual who is not interested in his fellow man who has the greatest difficulties in life and proves and becomes the greatest injury to others. It is from such individuals that all human failures spring. Okay, so don't be that person. Care about others and show that interest. You'll be amazed at how things fly. Okay, number 5 is easy. We can all do it. Smile, smile. Smiling has the hugest influence on people. Think about your facial expressions. If you were even, as you're scrolling through on Facebook and you see people's posts or if you see people's lives, if they're grumpy face, are you going to want to spend your precious time watching that? Or if it's someone who's lively and uplifting and smiling, doesn't that just draw you in? Well, it's the same thing for our business ladies. There was a story about this rich lady who had done all of this plastic surgery, had paid for the best of the best, had all of these diamonds and all of these amazing things, yet she was a total sourpuss. Don't radiate sourness and selfishness. What's inside radiates out through your face and through your expressions. People are not going to be drawn to that. So turn that frown upside down. Oops, here comes a smile. I don't know if any of you guys are familiar with that song. It's long ago. I'm aging myself, but it was a fun song. My mom used to always make me, when I was grumpy and didn't want to get up and go to church, that was something she'd make me sing. But the expression you wear on your face is far more important than the clothes you wear on your back. And it's so true. If you don't feel like smiling, we all have those days. Well, force yourself. Too bad. Get over it, sister. If you're home alone, whistle or hum your favorite tune. There is something about that, I swear, that it kind of just snaps you out of your little funk. Act as if you are already happy, and that will make you happy. Actions seem to follow your feelings, but it's actually, they go together. So get over yourself and get that smile on there, sister. Show those pearly teeth. Let us see that you actually have them, okay? Number 6, remember that a person's name to them is the sweetest and most important sound in any language. I thought this was so interesting, and that is something I try to remember people's names when I meet them, because I know that it really is something that's important to them. Instead of just saying, oh honey, sweetie, or a generalized name, recalling a person's name is a subtle but the most effective compliment. So if you have issues remembering, there was a story about Roosevelt had a campaign advisor that could remember over 50,000 names. What? Could you imagine? My brain would explode. But it was so impressive, and that was how he kept getting promoted and kept all of these opportunities came about, because people were so impressed with his skill to remember people's names, and it made them feel so special. So make sure that you're making that connection, that you're truly listening. And what he said, there was a tip that he gave, which I thought I would share. So when you're talking to someone, ask their complete name, not just like a nickname, because to some people to have that full name is such a compliment versus just, like Jen versus Jennifer. And if it's a Kimberly, don't assume that she wants to be called Kim. Ask them and talk to them about that, because that's such a compliment that some people just assume. And what does that do to you? Yeah, not good. Don't be that person. But then also ask them some facts about themselves, about their family business. And this said their political opinions. Oh Lord, no, don't go there. We know better than that. So that does show the age of the book just a tad. If you're feeling brave and you want to fight with someone, go for it. Yeah, do that. But by asking that information and truly listening to their answers, have that then become fixed in your mind and create almost like a picture, like a canvas of that person. And imagine, if they're, I don't know, their husband's a railroader or something, then you imagine that they're riding on a train, and then you just imagine that and fix that. And then the next time you see them, you'll recall that picture, which will then help you to remember their name or to remember something about them and about their family. So the next time you see them, you could say, oh, Sally, how is your husband doing with the railroad? Or that will truly impact people and influences them, that you truly are listening and care. The fact that you would know that, a year down the road, you'll blow their minds. So I want to hear your stories of how that works out for you. Number 7, this goes along with what I just said. Be a good listener. Encourage others to talk about themselves. There are so many stories that I have heard, and I've tried to do this myself. If I have like a party and people are here, I'm constantly asking about them. They'll answer something, and then I'll ask another question about them and always put it on them. And later I've heard people, they'll say, oh my goodness, you're just such a great conversationalist. And I'm like, oh, really? Am I? What did I converse about? Because it was all about you, sister. But that's what they want to know. That's how they want to feel, and that's how you will influence them. When they feel like the most important person, just like what that said before, that's another chance to make them feel important. But listen, you have to really listen intently and to be engaged in what they're saying. You can't be listening and your head in your phone, or you're thinking about like the next thing that you're going to talk to them about, or that you're, oh, I got to go get my son, or that you're only listening with the intent of following up to ask for a sale. No, they'll sense that. So be genuine. Put your phone down, give them your attention, face to face, eye to eye. It's amazing. You'll blow their mind. There's no way you can't influence them. And encourage them to talk with intriguing questions. They'll think that you just rock. And another example, this also goes into our relationships, people. How many times when like your husband is home from the day, are you still in your phone? You're like asking questions, oh, how was your day, honey? And they get to look at this part of you, right? No. True love, this lady had said in here, an example of true love. I really know you love me because when I talk to you about something, you stop whatever you're doing and listen to me. Are we doing that? Probably not, right? We're so busy and so multitasked and so a million things on our agendas. People sense that and they feel that. Influence by just being there and listening. Respect. It's all about respect. How would you want to be treated, and what things make you feel special? Do that for them and you'll never fail. Number 8, talk in terms of the other person's interests. Again, this kind of goes back to the same thing, where if you're asking questions about them, well, they like to talk about themselves. They like to talk about things that they're interested in. So if it's crickets and you're in there and it's awkward silence, start asking questions about what they're interested in. If you know that they're a Boy Scout mom, how are the Boy Scouts? I've never been a part of that. I have girls. What's the difference? Draw them in by making them feel that you should be, but so that they feel like you are truly interested in what they're talking about. Henry Ford, we all know who Henry Ford is, and he had huge success. If there is one secret of success, it lies in the ability to get the other person's point of view and to see things from that person's angle as well as from your own, right? So that's the whole put yourself in their shoes. What is something that they would be interested in, or where are they at in their lives? And this comes a lot with, sponsoring, whatever it might be. When you're thinking about where they are at in life, if you know they're struggling to make ends meet, or if you know that they're struggling to pay for dance lessons, things like that, it's putting yourself in their shoes and not just coming across so abrasively and abruptly, but just to be like, you know what do you need in life, and what are you interested in? Well, that then will then come around where you can loop that into, you know what, I know that this is where you're at, and I think Unique would be an amazing opportunity for you. Doing it sincerely and not, trying to be disgusting. Just don't be disgusting, okay? That's the lesson today. All right, but like what Henry Ford was saying, to put yourself in their shoes and to see from their person's angle. 90% of people ignore this principle 90% of the time. How sad is that, right? Don't be that selfish person. Always try to think of others, and you'll never go wrong. The royal road to a person's heart is to talk about the things that he or she treasures most. Now, come on, if they have kids, you pretty much know that that's a given, right? There was a great example of this banker who was trying to compete for a business of this hotel person. And there were like 11 or 12 other bankers that had gone ahead of him. And everyone was like, oh, good luck. No way. You're never going to get this deal. It's just not happening. Well, this guy was so smart. He knew that this particular banker had an interest in this association. It was the Greeters Association, not that you care. But he took interest in and basically looked into what this Greeters Association was, what it stood for, who were the members, and he was able to get the deal. Once he started talking to this banker about that Greeters Association, he said the guy lit up. It was his passion, and he couldn't stop talking about it. So because he met that point of interest of the other person, instead of forcing his agenda on him, making it about him and his passion and his interest, the doors flew wide open. Everyone was amazed, and they're like, what? How did you do that? We've all tried to get his business. Incredible. How easy could that be, ladies, right? What are their interests? What are they into? Don't force our stuff on them. Let them do the leading. Let them do the talking. And eventually it's going to come around. The other thing about that too is that if you are asking people and learning about what they're interested in, you're going to learn things. You're going to experience different opportunities, or even maybe potential things that you might be interested in that you had never known had you not asked, right? So it's a win-win. All right, and final, number 9, make the other person feel important and do it sincerely. I've said this before, but it's true. Flattery, we've all felt that, right? We've all known someone that's just blowing smoke, if you know what I mean. Flattery is shallow, selfish, and insincere, but appreciation truly comes from the heart. Ask yourself, what is it about her or him that I can honestly admire? Honestly, not just, oh yeah, you're so great. No, honestly. And there was a story of a guy who was standing in line at the post office, and he was like, oh, that guy, wow, look at him, he's got great hair. So he told the guy, great head of hair, just a compliment. And later, you know, the guy felt great, made his day. He's like, oh, thank you so much. I was having a cruddy day, but that really makes me feel special, and other people have admired my hair as well. So this guy was at a party later, and he was sharing that story, and they're like, oh yeah, what'd you want out of him? What'd you get? What'd you ask for? And the guy was like, really? Nothing. I didn't want anything. So if we are so contemptible, gross, selfish, that we can't radiate a little happiness and pass on a bit of honest appreciation without trying to get something out of the other person in return, if our souls are no bigger than sour apples, we shall meet with the failure we so richly deserve, right? So don't be gross about it. Be sincere. Compliment without expecting anything in return. Always make the other person feel important without demands or without a follow-up for, oh, okay, I made you feel good, now buy my stuff. People want approval of those that they come in contact with. They want recognition of their true worth and the job that they've done. They want to feel that they're important in their little world and to the people that they are around. So be that person. Be that person in their life. The golden rule never goes wrong. Give unto others, but we would want others to give to us, right? And don't just do it when you're wanting to make a sale. Do it all the time, everywhere. All right? Thanks, guys, for tuning in. Go be a person of influence. Don't be gross and salesy and spammy. If you have any questions, if there's anything I can do for you, please let me know. But I wish you abundance and blessings and opportunity in your business. Take care. Bye.